The power of your words. Rewire your mind, transform your life. Words aren't just sounds, they're the code that shapes your mind, your reality, and the life you're building. Every phrase you whisper to yourself, every story you tell, is either lifting you toward your boldest dreams or chaining you to a smaller version of who you could be. Today, we're diving deep into the hidden power of your language, how it wires your brain, steers your emotions, and even shifts the way the world meets you. This isn't just talk, it's transformation. If you're ready to rewrite your script, stick with me. And hey, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, give this video a like, and tap the bell so you never miss what's coming next. Let's get started. Section 1. The hidden power of your inner voice. Have you ever found yourself muttering, "I always mess this up," or "This just isn't my thing"? If so, pause for a moment, because those fleeting phrases aren't as harmless as they seem. They're not just casual complaints slipping out in frustration. They're subtle instructions embedding themselves into the machinery of your mind. Your brain, ever the obedient servant, listens closely and adjusts its wiring to match the narrative you feed it. What you might dismiss as a throwaway thought is, in truth, a sculptor's chisel carving the shape of your future. This isn't a new revelation dressed up as modern wisdom. It's a truth that echoes through history. The philosopher Lao Tzu once said, "Watch your thoughts, they become your words. Watch your words, they become your actions." Centuries later, neuroscience confirms what the ancients intuited. Every syllable you utter sparks a cascade of electrical impulses in your brain, strengthening pathways that dictate how you see yourself and the world. Speak of failure often enough, and your mind builds a fortress around it, locking you into a cycle of self-doubt that feels impossible to break. Yet there's a flip side to this, a spark of hope that high performers across time have seized upon. Consider Muhammad Ali, who famously declared, "I am the greatest," long before the world agreed. His words weren't just bravado, they were a deliberate command to his psyche, a blueprint for the champion he became. Your words too hold that same potential, to limit or to liberate. They're not mere reflections of your reality, they're the architects of it, shaping what you believe is possible, and in turn, what you dare to pursue. The stakes here are higher than you might realize. If you want to step into a life that reflects your boldest ambitions, whether that's unshakable confidence, a thriving career, or a sense of inner peace, you must first confront the language you wield. This isn't about positive thinking for the sake of it. It's about reclaiming control over the most powerful tool you possess, your voice, both spoken and silent. Stick with me, because what lies ahead could be the key to rewriting the story you've been telling yourself and the life you've been living. Section 2. The silent architect of your destiny. Pause and ask yourself this: whose voice holds the greatest sway over your life? It's not the encouragement of a friend, the wisdom of a mentor, or even the comfort of a loved one that reigns supreme. It's the quiet, relentless whisper within, the one that narrates your every step, coloring how you perceive yourself and the possibilities ahead. This inner dialogue isn't just background noise, it's the unseen force steering your decisions, your confidence, and the boundaries of your world. From the moment you could understand language, the words of others began to weave the fabric of your mind. Parents, teachers, and society handed you scripts, some empowering, some corrosive, that you unknowingly memorized. If you were raised with affirmations like, "You're brilliant and full of potential," those echoes likely bolster your self-view today. But if your ears were filled with, "You'll never amount to much," or "Why can't you get it right?" those barbs may have sunk deep, hardening into beliefs you now mistake for your own voice. Science shines a stark light on this process. Repetition forges neural highways in your brain. Each time you silently scold yourself with, "I'm not cut out for this," you're not just venting, you're laying bricks in a wall of limitation. Neuroplasticity, the brain's remarkable ability to reshape itself, means it molds to the stories you tell most often. As psychologist Carol Dweck has noted, the mindsets we cultivate, fixed or growth, stem from these patterns, determining whether we shrink from challenges or rise to meet them. This isn't just a quirk of biology, it's a call to action. If your inner voice has been trained to chant defeat, it's not a life sentence. It's a habit you can unlearn. The same plasticity that cemented those doubts can be harnessed to build a new foundation, one rooted in strength and possibility. High achievers like Oprah Winfrey, who overcame a childhood of "you're not enough" to declare her own worth, prove it's possible. What follows could unlock the door to that transformation. Stay tuned. Section 3. The words that build your world. Let's ground this in something tangible. Picture two athletes gearing up for a high-stakes competition. The first wakes up, stretches, and tells themselves, "I'm sharp, I'm prepared, and I've got what it takes to win this." The second slumps out of bed, muttering, "I always choke under pressure, I'll probably blow it again." Both may have trained equally hard, but who's more likely to cross the finish line first? It's not just about physical prowess, it's about the internal script they've chosen to run. This isn't a feel-good hypothetical. It's a glimpse into the mechanics of the mind. The first athlete's self-talk ignites a surge of focus and resilience, priming their brain to seize the moment. The second, meanwhile, hands their psyche a blueprint for collapse, undermining their own potential before the starting gun fires. As basketball legend Michael Jordan once said, "You have to expect things of yourself before you can do them." The language you wield doesn't just reflect your state, it dictates it. Here's where it gets fascinating. Your words don't merely narrate reality, they sculpt how you experience it. The brain isn't a passive observer, dutifully recording the world as it is. Instead, it's an interpreter, sifting every sight and sound through lenses you've crafted, with language as the most potent filter of all. Neuroscientists call this the predictive coding of perception. Your mind anticipates reality based on the stories you tell it, bending what you see to fit the script. Imagine two friends standing side by side, watching a fierce snowstorm blanket the city. One grumbles, "This is a disaster. Everything's shut down, and I'm stuck." The other smiles and says, "This is magic, a rare chance to slow down and recharge." The snow falls the same for both, yet their worlds diverge sharply. Why? Because their inner voices paint the scene in vastly different hues. What you say to yourself doesn't just describe the moment, it defines it. Keep reading, because the next step could shift how you wield this power. Section 4. The alchemy of language and emotion. The words you select aren't just sounds. They're levers that tilt your emotional landscape and tint the lens through which you view life's unfolding. When you tag a situation as overwhelming, hopeless, or exhausting, you're not just naming it, you're locking it into a frame that amplifies those feelings. Conversely, swap those labels for test, growth, or potential, and you nudge your mind toward a horizon of resilience and curiosity. It's not magic. It's the quiet power of language rewiring your response to the world. This isn't mere speculation. It's a phenomenon science has begun to unravel. Cognitive scientist Lera Boroditsky has shown how the structure of language molds perception itself. Take the Cook Thayore people of Australia, who navigate with cardinal directions, north or east, rather than egocentric terms like left or right. Their linguistic habit sharpens their spatial awareness to a degree that leaves Western speakers in the dust. It's a striking clue. The words we lean on don't just echo our thoughts, they sculpt the very contours of our reality. This ripple effect extends beyond the external world into the core of who we believe we are. Call yourself awkward or weak, and you'll find your actions bending to fit that script, as if the label were a mold you're duty-bound to fill. But shift the narrative. I'm learning to stand tall, or I'm growing bolder every day. And you plant seeds for a different self to emerge. Tennis icon Serena Williams once said, "I don't play to be good, I play to be great." Her words didn't just reflect ambition, they forged it step by step. It's a subtle alchemy, but the implications are profound. Your emotions, your sense of possibility, even your identity, they all bend to the language you wield. The question isn't whether words shape you, they do. It's whether you'll let them confine you or set you free. What's coming next could equip you to turn that power into a deliberate tool. Don't look away now. Section 5. The echoes that shape your truth. What you say to yourself over and over doesn't just linger, it solidifies into the bedrock of your reality. This idea anchors the self-affirmation theory, crafted by psychologist Claude Steele, who argued that we all crave a sense of being capable, coherent, and worthy. To protect that image, we lean on a chorus of repeated thoughts and phrases that echo who we think we are. Whether those words lift you up or drag you down, they gain power through repetition, etching themselves into the story you live by. Here's the twist. The tone of those echoes doesn't dictate their strength, only their direction. Tell yourself, "I'm destined to fail," or I never get it right enough times. And your brain doesn't argue, it complies. It scours the world for proof, spotlighting every stumble to validate the script, trapping you in a loop that feels unbreakable. As author Toni Morrison once observed, you are your best thing. Yet too often we let negative refrains drown out that truth, binding us to a lesser version of ourselves. The beauty lies in this. The same machinery can be turned toward light. Studies, like one from Carnegie Mellon University, reveal that intentional positive affirmations can sharpen your edge, lifting self-worth, easing tension, and boosting performance when the stakes are high. Picture someone stepping into a daunting presentation, armed with the mantra, "I've got this." The research backs it. Those who affirm their strengths before a challenge outshine those who don't. It's not wishful thinking. It's rewiring the mind to meet the moment. But there's a catch. Words alone aren't enough. They need a heartbeat. Chanting "I'm unstoppable" while doubt churns in your chest is like planting seeds in barren soil. They won't take root. The trick is authenticity, choosing phrases that resonate with where you are, like "I'm building my courage" or "I'm closer to my goals every step." Feel the truth in them, and they become more than sound. They become a force. What's next could show you how to harness this. Keep going. Section 6. The emotional current of your words. Have you ever felt your heart leap at the sound of "you've got this" or sink under the weight of "you're not enough"? Words aren't just carriers of meaning. They're sparks that ignite visceral reactions within you. A single phrase can flood you with warmth or tighten your chest with dread, proving that what you hear and say isn't neutral. It's a live wire, pulsing with emotional energy that ripples through your body and mind in an instant. This isn't just a poetic notion. Neuroscience maps it out clearly. When harsh words like failure or useless hit your ears, your brain triggers a surge of cortisol, the stress hormone, priming you for fight or flight. Flip the script to strength or progress, and you unleash dopamine and serotonin, the chemical architects of calm and confidence. Your vocabulary isn't just shaping your thoughts, it's tuning the very biology that dictates how you feel and function. Elite coaches and performers live by this principle. Take a soccer player poised for a crucial shot. A coach who warns, "Don't screw this up," plants a seed of doubt, nudging the athlete's focus toward error. But shift to "strike it clean and true," and the mind locks onto a vision of triumph. Legendary coach Vince Lombardi knew this, drilling his players with "winning isn't everything, it's the only thing." Not to pressure them, but to align their inner compass toward victory. Words don't just instruct, they direct the flow of possibility. This dynamic plays out in your everyday moments too. Lean on language steeped in hesitation or self-criticism. "I can't handle this," and you'll breed more unease, your energy dimming with each repetition. Pivot to words that stir resolve or hope. "I'm rising to this," and you tilt the scales toward momentum. It's not about denying reality. It's about choosing the current you ride. What follows could show you how to master that choice. Stay with me. Section 7. The silent symphony of how you speak. When the pressure mounts, say, a deadline looms or a conflict flares, what's the voice in your head saying? Are you met with a barrage of "you're dropping the ball" or a steady "you've got this"? The words you choose in those raw, unguarded moments carry weight, but they're only part of the equation. How you deliver them, to yourself or others, can amplify their force or drain them of meaning, shaping the energy you bring to the fight. It's not just about the script, it's the performance. Take a simple "I'm okay." Spoken with a squared stance and a clear, grounded voice, it radiates conviction, a signal to your brain that you're in command. Mutter it with a slouch and a shaky whisper, and it morphs into a plea, undercutting the message before it lands. The words might be identical, but the story they tell and the one you believe shifts entirely with the way they're carried. Research backs this up with hard numbers. Words alone account for just 7% of what you communicate, according to studies on human interaction. Tone weighs in at 38%, while body language dominates with 55%. That means over half of what you're saying, even in your private self-talk, lives in the unspoken. The lift of your chin, the steadiness of your breath. Harvard Business School found that striking a power pose, chest open, head high, for just 2 minutes can spike testosterone and drop cortisol, leaving you poised and potent. MIT's work on voice adds another layer. A richer, rhythmic tone doesn't just sound stronger. It feels stronger, forging connection and trust. This interplay is a game changer. High performers like Nelson Mandela mastered it, his measured cadence and upright bearing turning words into movements. In your own life, it's the difference between a half-hearted "I'll try" and a resolute "I will." It's not enough to pick the right words. You've got to embody them, letting your tone and presence amplify their power. What's next could tie this all together. Don't step away yet. Section 8. The mirror of your own power. Here's a challenge. Step up to a mirror and say, "I am enough." First, let your shoulders sag, your voice falter. Feel the words limp out, barely convincing even you. Now reset. Stand tall, chest open, and let the phrase roll out with calm certainty. The shift isn't subtle. It's electric. Your brain doesn't just hear the words, it reads the signals in your stance and tone, deciding whether to shrink or rise based on the cues you give it. Think back to a moment you had to step into the spotlight, maybe a pitch at work or a talk with a group. You had the facts locked down, but your voice quivered, your palms dampened, and your body seemed to fold inward. The room felt it, and your message lost its edge. Now picture someone else in that same scenario, less prepared maybe, but their shoulders were back, their words steady. They owned the space. It wasn't their expertise that carried the day, it was how they delivered it. This isn't random, it's biology at play. When doubt creeps in, your limbic system, the brain's ancient alarm bell, kicks on, reading tension as a threat. Your breath shortens, your voice thins, your frame collapses, all screaming danger to your nervous system. But flip the script, lift your gaze, deepen your inhale, project your voice, and you send a new signal: safety, strength, control. Studies show this rewires your stress response on the spot, dialing down cortisol and dialing up clarity. As Amy Cuddy's research highlights, your body language shapes who you are. It's a small pivot with seismic impact. Leaders like Maya Angelou didn't just speak truth, they embodied it, their presence amplifying every syllable. You can too. The next time you face a crucible, don't just choose your words, command them with your whole being. It's not about faking it, it's about signaling to yourself what's already there. What's coming could show you how to lock this in. Stay with it. Section 9. Rewriting the code of your mind. Your brain isn't a fixed machine locked into one way of being. It's a living, adaptable marvel, reshaping itself with every thought you harbor and every word you speak. This is the gift of neuroplasticity. The neural pathways you tread most often grow stronger, whether they lead to doubt or determination. Mutter "I'm no good at this" or "I always come up short" on repeat, and you're not just venting. You're building a mental highway that steers your feelings, choices, and outcomes toward that truth. The good news? You hold the tools to redraw the map. Science lights the way here. Dr. Jeffrey Schwartz at UCLA demonstrated this with patients battling obsessive-compulsive disorder, guiding them to replace looping fears with deliberate, affirming words. Over time, their brain chemistry shifted. New patterns took root, easing their struggle. Similarly, Dr. Andrew Newberg's research reveals how words like peace or strength spark activity in regions tied to joy and calm, while hate or failure jolt the amygdala, flooding you with tension. Your language isn't just a mirror, it's an architect of your inner world. Let's put it to the test. For one day, tune into the soundtrack of your self-talk, especially when you're describing yourself. Catch every "I can't" or "I'm not enough" and swap it for something alive. "I'm learning" or "I'm capable." Stretch that to a week and watch the ripples, how your mood lifts, how your steps feel surer. Want to lock it in? Take the 21-day plunge. Trade every limiting echo for one that fuels you. High achievers like Thomas Edison, who said, "I have not failed, I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work," thrived on this shift. Check the link in the first pinned comment for more on how to start. This isn't about quick fixes. It's about claiming the reins of your mind's evolution. Every word you choose is a brick in the life you're building, and you've got the power to lay a foundation that stands tall. What's next could be the final piece to make this yours. Don't stop now. Section 10. The soundtrack of your success. The words swirling in your head and spilling from your lips aren't just noise. They're the fuel that drives how you show up in the world. Picture a runner at the starting line. If their mind hums with "I can't slip up" or "what if I crash," they're not just worrying, they're scripting a stumble. Cortisol floods their system, tightening muscles and clouding focus, setting the stage for a falter. But switch the tune to "I'm ready for this, I've got the power," and their brain lights up with confidence, sharpening their edge and propelling them forward. This isn't guesswork, it's science in action. A University of Toronto study tracked how uplifting words boost stamina and accuracy, giving athletes a tangible lift when it counts. Psychologist Ethan Cross took it further, finding that third-person self-talk, "You've got this," your name, cuts anxiety and steadies decision-making under fire. The right words don't just cheer you on, they recalibrate your mind and body for the win, turning potential into performance. Now zoom into your own life. How do you prime yourself before a big moment? A pitch, an exam, a tough call? If your inner voice whispers hesitation, "I hope I don't mess up," you're handing doubt the wheel, and your results will feel the drag. Shift that habit. Before your next challenge, stop, breathe, and fire off 3 bold phrases. "I'm prepared. I'm sharp. I'll rise to this." Make them ring with resolve. As Steve Jobs once put it, the ones who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do. And it starts with what you tell yourself. This small ritual can rewrite your outcomes. It's not about ignoring the stakes. It's about choosing the soundtrack that carries you through them. High performers don't leave their mindset to chance. They shape it, word by word. You can too, and what's ahead could seal this into your daily rhythm. Keep going. Section 11. The ripple effect of your voice. The words you choose don't just echo in your own head. They weave the fabric of every relationship you hold. Each exchange, whether with a loved one, a colleague, or a stranger, hinges not just on what you say, but on how it lands. Missteps in communication often spark friction, not from grand disputes, but from subtle jabs like, "You always ignore me." That phrase stings like a pointed finger, rousing defenses. Reframe it to, "I feel overlooked when I'm sharing something close to my heart," and the air shifts. Less wall, more window, inviting understanding over argument. There's hard science behind this dance. Stanford University research reveals that sharp, blaming words light up the brain's threat detectors, much like a physical shove. The person on the receiving end braces for impact, snapping back or clamming up, because judgment feels like survival. But wield your language with care. "I see where you're coming from," or "Your thoughts matter to me," and you flip the script. Those phrases don't just soften the blow. They build bridges, coaxing trust and connection from even the tensest moments. History's finest leaders leaned into this truth. Martin Luther King Jr. didn't rally millions by scolding. He spoke of dreams and dignity, words that lifted rather than lashed. The skill lies in seeing your voice as a tool. It can wound or it can mend. Next time a disagreement flares, catch yourself. Swap "You're wrong" for "I'm feeling lost here, help me understand." It's not about dodging the point. It's about steering the energy toward something whole. The shift might surprise you with how it softens the room. This isn't just about others. It's about the world you create around you. Your words set the tone for how people meet you, whether with guarded walls or open hands. Mastering this doesn't demand perfection, just intention. Watch it play out. A single tweak in how you speak could rewrite the script of your closest ties. What's next might show you how to carry this forward. Don't turn away now. Section 12. The voice that tames the storm. How you whisper to yourself in the quiet of your own mind can be your fiercest ally or your heaviest chain. Take anxiety, that familiar knot before a big moment, like stepping into a job interview or bracing for a hard talk. If your inner voice chants, "This is going to fall apart," or "I'm not built for this," it's not just a thought, it's a trigger. Your pulse spikes, your breath turns shallow, and your brain flips to red alert, as if the chair across from you were a prowling lion. That's the language of fear seizing the reins. Every repetition of "what if I fail" doesn't just echo, it digs deeper, wiring your body to expect disaster. The more you linger on the cracks, the more your system mirrors that dread, amplifying the storm within. But here's the lifeline. You're not stuck there. You can rewrite the dialogue and steer the ship back to steady waters. Martin Seligman, a trailblazer in positive psychology, uncovered this power. Swap out panic's script for something grounded, and your whole being shifts. Trade "I'll crumble under this" for "I've weathered tough spots before. I can again." It's not about pasting on a fake smile. It's about tilting the lens toward what's true and possible. Your brain catches the cue, easing off the alarm and nudging you toward clarity instead of chaos. Studies show this reframing doesn't just calm you, it primes you to act with purpose. This is about more than surviving stress, it's about mastering it. Your self-talk isn't a bystander. It's the conductor of your inner orchestra, setting the tempo for how you face the world. High performers like Simone Biles don't dodge pressure. They meet it with, "I've trained for this," a mantra that steadies their hands. You can too. The next piece might show you how to make this stick. Keep reading. Section 13. The blueprint of your ambitions. The way you frame your dreams isn't just a detail. It's the scaffolding that decides whether they stand or crumble. Ever notice how some aspirations light a fire in you, while others feel like distant, daunting shadows? It's not the goals themselves, it's the words you wrap around them. Your brain hungers for a clear signal, a map to follow. Murky intentions like, "I'd like to feel better," or "I should earn more," drift aimlessly. But sharp, vivid declarations, "I'll carve out 20 minutes a day to recharge," or "I'll boost my revenue by 25% this year," snap your mind into gear, ready to build. Dr. Edwin Locke's groundbreaking work on goal-setting theory nails this down. Specific, forward-leaning goals outpace vague or negative ones every time. Telling yourself, "I won't mess this up," pales next to, "I'll nail this step by step." The data backs it. People who aim with precision and optimism don't just wish harder, they act smarter. Look at trailblazers like Elon Musk, who didn't mumble, "I hope space travel works out." He vowed to colonize Mars, words that fueled relentless pursuit. Your goals need that same spine if you're chasing a life that breaks the mold. This idea stretches back to ancient wisdom, where sages and seers claimed words don't just describe, they create. Call it the law of attraction or simple psychology. What you voice with conviction starts to take shape. The Pygmalion effect proves it. A study showed teachers who were told random students were gifted subtly shifted their language and demeanor, and those kids rose to the expectation, outshining peers. Your words aren't idle. They're a signal to yourself and the universe, bending reality toward what you claim. It's a call to sharpen your tongue and your vision. Fuzzy hopes stall, but bold, clear proclamations propel. Next time you set your sights on something, don't whisper doubts. Declare it like it's already yours. "I'm crafting a life of purpose. I'm stepping into my strength." That's the language of architects, not daydreamers. What's coming could lock this into your daily stride. Don't drift off yet. Section 14. The harmony of words and belief. Here's where many trip up. They sprinkle their days with upbeat phrases, but underneath, they clutch a quiet dread. Imagine someone chanting, "I'm thriving," while their gut twists with worry about the next bill. The words might gleam, but if doubt or scarcity hums louder, that's what takes root. True power kicks in when your voice, your conviction, and your steps sync up. Think of icons like Beyoncé. She didn't just hope for stardom. She spoke it, saw it, and chased it, aligning every layer of her being until the world caught up. This isn't fluffy optimism. It's a deliberate rewiring. Visionaries, from painters to CEOs, don't stumble into greatness. They plant the seeds with their words long before the harvest shows. It's not about crossing your fingers. It's about training your mind to spot the openings and seize them. Neuroscience nods along. When you pair clear intent with vivid language, your brain starts scanning for proof, turning "I'll make this work" into a lens that finds the how. Misalign the emotion, and the signal fizzles. Belief is the current that makes it hum. Zoom out to today's wired world, where words ping around us non-stop. Scroll through a feed drenched in gloom, headlines screaming crisis, comments spitting venom, and your brain soaks it in, whispering, "This is how it is." Phrases like "nothing ever changes" or "success is for the lucky" seep into your bones, masquerading as truth until they cage your thinking. MIT's research flips the coin. Online spaces pulsing with encouragement. Think "you're enough" or "keep pushing." Don't just lift your mood, they build a tougher, brighter core rippling out to others. So where do you stand in this digital echo chamber? Are the words you scroll past and toss out there fueling your climb or sapping your spark? It's not passive consumption, it's a choice. Surround yourself with language that dares you to grow and watch your reality tilt. Drop a note below. What's the vibe of your online world? Lifting or limiting? Your take might wake you, and someone else, up to what's really steering the ship. Section 15. The lens of your life story. The way you paint your days doesn't just describe them. It dictates how your mind makes sense of the chaos. The metaphors you toss around aren't idle poetry. They're the filters tinting your feelings, choices, and path. Picture two friends grappling with a tight budget. One groans, "I'm sinking in quicksand. There's no escape," while the other declares, "I'm forging a trail through the wild. I'll get there." Same struggle, different tales. One breeds surrender, the other fuels grit. Your words don't just narrate, they steer. Stanford University dug into this, proving metaphors aren't mere decoration. They rewire your reasoning. In one study, people fed the image of crime as a raging beast leaned toward locking it up tight, while those handed disease spreading pushed for cures over cages. The shift wasn't subtle. It was action-shaping, showing how the language you lean on doesn't just color your view, it carves your next move. Your brain latches onto these frames, turning them into blueprints for what you do. This isn't abstract. It's a lever you can pull every day. The catch: it only works if you wield it. Start scanning your own script. How do you cast yourself in the story? "I'm a wreck" or "I'm lost" might slip out easy, but they dig ruts of defeat. Trade them for "I'm navigating rough waters" or "I'm piecing this together," and you tilt the ground beneath you, less victim, more victor. It's not about glossing over the hard stuff, it's about framing it so you keep moving. Small tweaks stack up fast. Listen to yourself over coffee in traffic at your desk. Catch the old lines and recast them. "I'm swamped" becomes "I'm tackling a big wave." "I can't keep up" turns to "I'm pacing myself to the finish." As Maya Angelou said, words are things. They stick, they build, they shift what you see and who you become. What's next could root this deep into your days. Don't step back now. Section 16. The echoes you let in. The words you soak up from the world aren't just background chatter. They're currents that tug at your inner tide. Your surroundings, from the conversations you overhear to the headlines you skim, seep into your subconscious, tuning your emotional pulse. Drown in a stream of gloom. Everything's falling apart or there's no point, and your mind mirrors that shadow, dimming your spark. Instead, sift for voices that lift. Swap "it's all downhill" for "where's the light breaking through." It's not about dodging the truth, it's about choosing what you amplify. This filter isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. Spiritual guides have long preached that what you dwell on takes root, and science backs it up. Your brain's plasticity means it molds to the input you feed it. Curate your intake toward growth. "I'm on the rise," or "this is a chance to stretch." And you'll feel the shift not just in your mood but in the paths you pick. It's like tending a garden. Neglect the weeds, and they choke the blooms. Tend the soil right, and you harvest something vibrant. The pivot starts with intent. Decide to guard your words, both the ones you speak and the ones you let settle, and you'll see the dominoes fall. Your energy sharpens, your actions align. Even the way people lean into you changes. Gandhi didn't just wish for peace. He spoke it into being with "Be the Change," a call that rippled outward. You've got that same power to reshape your orbit by what you invite in and what you let go. Take a beat to look back. What's been your soundtrack lately? Are there phrases dragging you down? "I'm stuck" or "it's too late"? That need tossing. Pick one to ditch and swap it for something that breathes life. "I'm moving forward" or "I'm finding my way." Drop it in the comments below. What's your old word and what's taking its place? Your choice might just spark someone else to rewrite their own script. This could be the start. Don't let it slip by.